Schrock Innovations presents the Midwest #1 independent computer repair company with service centers in Lincoln, Omaha, Papillion, Des Moines, and across the country via the Schrock desk. This is Compute This.
Good morning, folks, and welcome into Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. Like the big voice man said there, we've got locations all over the place to help you out. 4 of them, actually. The original in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. In Omaha, 168th and Burke, across the street from the Village Point Mall, where the rent used to be slightly cheaper. When you stay someplace, when you're a business owner, you understand. But when you stay someplace for a decade and a half, they raise your rent every year. So eventually, you're in this quandary where, like, if I go somewhere else, I could probably get lower rent because my rent's gone up every single year. You know, cost of business and everything. In Papillion, 84th and Highway 370 in the Midlands Place Shopping Center. And, of course, the newest Schrock Innovations in West Des Moines, Iowa. You see, sometimes people come from West Des Moines here to Omaha, and sometimes Omaha goes to West Des Moines. That's just how life works, okay? 9500 University Avenue in West Des Moines, Iowa. 402-558-1110 is the local number to reach us here on the program this morning. If you're calling from outside the metro area, 888-250-2091, 888-250-2091. Of course, as we do every week, we will be giving away a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate, good for anything your heart desires over at the Service Center. You can just give us a call, contribute to the program in some way. We'll enter you in the drawing, and at the end of the show, we'll draw a winner. It's that easy. Then we just stick it in your Schrock account, and it's there when you need it. All right, so last week, if you missed the program, you missed a pretty good show. It's okay, though. We all miss a few. You know, the other day, I was, for whatever reason, pulled to the Compute This page on the Schrock Innovations website. And I need you to hold my feet to the fire on this because I've been saying I'm going to do this for like the last few weeks. That page is awful. And I can admit that. When something that my company created is awful, that page is awful. I couldn't find my most recent podcast on that page. It should be front and center, right? So I'm going to make sure that page gets redesigned. And if I don't have it done by next week, you hold my feet to the fire on it. You can call me on it during an aftershock or something. But yeah, basically you can get the videos there. It's a little clunky, but I'm going to work on streamlining that a little bit and creating a bit of a new user interface for that. But the show is available at SchrockInnovations.com and click on radio shows. Video is available of the shows. We do broadcast the video live on Facebook at facebook.com/SchrockInnovations, SCHROCK. You can join the residents of Schrockville there and comment live. During the commercial breaks, I try to pop into those comments and answer any questions that might be in there as well for you. But last week, if you missed the show, we told you a little bit more about how Sophos works. And not just like how it works as an antivirus product, but more importantly, how to know when it's not working. A lot of people call us and ask us that. And I have to tell you, Amy, she loved me. Oh, I was a local fan favorite that Monday morning across all of Schrockland. Yeah. Hey, I'm just calling to check on my Sophos. Thor did something on the radio, and he said that if we think it's not working, we should call you. Yeah, we got calls. And of course, there was only 29 people that had issues. And we knew about those 29 people. We did have lots of people call us, though, that one of the biggest things that we see that we can't do anything about until we have you interact with us is phones. People get new phones. It happens. And when you get a new phone, there's these nifty transfer tools that move all your apps from one phone to the other, but it doesn't move your Sophos subscription. Your subscription is tied to your device. If we allowed the subscription to move to a new device, somebody could clone your phone and take your subscription as if, we wouldn't know. There would be no security there. So the security is, hey, red alert, your phone's not your phone, heads up. And so we had a lot of people that had purchased new phones calling us to have us make sure that their subscription was set up properly on their device. Also, I made the offhanded comment, if you're not local, we can do this remotely where, we can, text a QR code back and forth and everything. I want to preface this by saying you must have the technical acumen to take a screenshot on your phone and send us a text message. If you can't do those things, then we can't help you remotely. With this. It has to be in the service center. We had some people that had some difficulty last week. That's why Amy was a little rough with me. She was like, Thor, don't tell people we can help them remotely when you don't know if they have the skill set needed to do it. Like I'm trying to explain how to people take a screenshot and like, what phone do you have? And I'm like Googling how to take a screenshot. So we got everybody taken care of though. It was a fun time, but like I said, if you miss a week, you miss a lot on this program. Also, we told you about Apple's new iOS 16.5.1, 3 critical security updates in that patch. There was a patch for Watch, there was a patch for Mac, and there was a patch for your iPhone and iPad devices, your iOS. So make sure you get that installed on your devices. It's really important to do that. If you haven't done it already, try to schedule it to run overnight while your phone's on the charger. It'll help mitigate some of the battery woes you'll have the next day. We also shared some of the most common words that people use in their passwords. Everyone does that common passwords segment, but this was common words that people use in their supposedly super secure creative passwords because, you're not supposed to use English words in your English language password, but people do. And so what words do they use? And we found that there's a pattern to it. And through pattern analysis, hackers can actually crack your password in a fraction of a second with the information that we shared with you on the program last week. So important words to avoid in the show last week. So that way you can strengthen your password game. As I mentioned, 402-558-1110 and the toll-free number 888-250-2091. When you say a toll-free number, does that mean we're charging you a toll for the other number? Maybe if you're not local. It's kind of like these little questions you ask yourself in life, like grape soda. Who invented the flavor grape? Because it doesn't taste like any grape I've ever had. Grape soda. And then they put it in medicine. I had to give my daughter some medicine and it was grape flavored. I'm like, this does not taste like grapes. It's who invented this purple concoction and called it grape some way back in the day somewhere. Interesting things you wonder about sometimes when you're a dad. 402-558-1110. Coming up on the program today for you. Today's show promises to be a little bit of a firecracker, guys, because we had a great month last month at the Service Center, so we're going to talk about that a little bit. A little inside baseball stuff. Not that you really care, oh, how was your month, Thor? It was great. Thanks for asking. More importantly, though, I got an email from a customer who admitted in his email, very bravely, that he doesn't listen to Compute This as often as he used to. So I thought, let's do a segment on Compute This to drive him back to the program, right? But the thing is, I was going to record a video to answer him back because it's a complex question that typing an email for would have taken a long time. And I think a lot of people have the same question. But let's do a roundup on what is a VPN? Do you need one? And then what can it actually do for you? And so he has a list of 3 separate questions he sent me that he wanted me to address. So I'm going to do this segment. I'm going to take the video from it. I'm going to clip it into a smaller video, and I'm going to send him a link. And then that way, everybody gets what they need, and then he gets kind of pulled back into the Compute This family. It's pretty beautiful, isn't it? Also, true or false privacy quiz. It's going to be like one of those Red Book magazine quizzes. Ladies love these things. It's like, okay, true or false. You are secure when you're on the internet, and then we'll tell you how you aren't. It's pretty good stuff. So little questions like, when you ask a company to delete your information, do they actually do it? Or does Apple sell your data or not? Or, lots of true false questions. Some of them are pretty good. So we're going to go through these true false privacy questions, and you can test your knowledge with those sitting around you amongst your radio or internet connection to see who knows the most about their privacy in the world. Also, I've got a scary one for you here. And this is a reach because I'm like, in the summertime, I don't think we have to worry about this one so much. But there's a new tactic that's being used by thieves to steal your PIN number directly off the ATM PIN pad. And it's not one of those, they tell you to watch for those, devices that thieves will put on top where they record what you type in. It's nothing like that. This is you can do this with a cell phone. And so that's why it's getting a little concern. And as we get into the cooler months of the year, it's going to become an even bigger concern. So I wanted to make sure that you guys knew about it before it became a problem. That way, when you enter your PIN number, you got to do it slow. And we'll tell you why coming up here on the program. 402-558-1110. I mentioned we had a great month last month, and that's in large part to you guys. There were some mitigating circumstances. We had that Best Buy in Papillion that closed, which kind of leaves us to be the only computer repair shop in the Papillion area there's one other one, a smaller one further down in Papillion, and there's a couple in Bellevue. But in Sarpy County, there's really, there is no big box store place to go anymore for computer repair or computer help. And so now what's happening is a lot of these customers that were going to Best Buy in Papillion are coming into Schrock in Papillion instead because we're just like one block up the street. So they come to us next, and then they're like, "This is so different than the Geek Squad." We're like, yeah, it is. It's a whole different ball game. We get to know you, we get to know your tech, we get to know what you're doing with it. Our guys in the back actually, I'm not bad mouthing Geek Squad techs because we do hire the good ones when we can. Not all of them are great though, and so we've heard some horror stories, and we've had my wife's experienced some stuff. And it's kind of what it is. But when you strive to deliver good service in Papillion, and then you turn around and you get hit with 3 1-star reviews in a single day, that's a gut check, right? So why am I bringing this up? Who talks about their 1-star reviews, Thor? Really? Come on. Marketing fail. You may as well just be Bud Light, Marketing fail. Oh my gosh. But when you get 3 1-star reviews in a row, you got to ask yourself what's going on. So we looked through the reviews. One of the reviews was a fake review. It was from somebody who was in Europe that has never been to a Schrock Innovation Service Center, who seems to review lots of different places in lots of different countries, i.e. they're getting paid to review things. So one of them was a fake review. That happens. Competitors will do that to us from time to time. That happens. The second one was a situation with a customer where there was just one of those wackadoo situations that is going to happen once in a million years. We had a 2015 MacBook, and it had a bad battery. Simple fix, right? I mean, you take the back plate off this thing, and the guts are completely exposed. Unlike every other Mac thing, you don't have to take out 150,000 screws to get to the battery, but they did use some adhesive to stick the battery down to the unibody. And a unibody, what that is this is the aluminum Mac. So that everything is one piece. You can't remove the keyboard, you can't remove the palm rest. Everything is one piece. So we have a guy, and so hit that with the heat gun, and that'll loosen the adhesive, and you can get that battery up a little easier, so you're not chucking away at it with a paint scraper or something. So he hits it with the heat gun, but he didn't realize it, and it was one of those stupid mistakes. The heat gun was set too hot, so rather than just heat it up enough to get the battery out with a good tug, he heated it up until the battery freely lifted out, which, okay, great. He loosened the adhesive. That's what we were trying to do. Lifted the battery out, put the new battery in, put the clip in, put the back plate back on, put the screws back in, flipped it back over, plugged it in. Let's test this battery, baby. We open the lid, and all the keys on the keyboard are melted. Yeah, one of those situations. And you can't replace the keyboard in this thing. You have to buy a whole new unibody. Oh, a whole new unibody? A whole new unibody for a 2015 MacBook? Shoot. So there was one of those situations, and I gave the customer a call because there was communication issues in the middle of everything else. She ended up getting a new MacBook. She was upset because she didn't get the trade-in value she would have gotten from her 2015 MacBook because there was an issue with the speaker and the one that we replaced. But she didn't feel like after we melted her keyboard, understandably, she didn't want to come back in for another bite at the apple, if you will. And I called her up. I would have probably said the same thing. I empathize with you in this situation. It was one of our younger guys that was doing it. It was considered a low-risk repair, which is why we had the young guy on it. It was one of his first heat gun repairs. Lessons were learned here. Unfortunately, those lessons came at your expense, and they shouldn't have. And so, we went ahead and made it right with her, and gave her the appropriate refunds, and made the situation right again. And as a result, she actually, and I didn't ask her to do it because I never ask people to change the review. I mean, if we earn a 1-star review in that situation, we earned it. If we earn a 1-star review, well, we earned a 1-star review. That doesn't mean we don't make it right. But that does mean we don't make it right with the expectation that you're going to change your review. We're making it right because it's the right thing to do. And so I asked her, I'm not asking you to change the 1-star review, but if you could amend your review to say, hey, after this review, they called me and they took responsibility and took care of it. Just the truth, right? And so she was so kind. She was so impressed that we reached out in within 24 hours of a review that we made the situation right, that she came in and she changed the 1-star review. However, it looks like she reviewed us 1 star from 2 different Google accounts. That was the other 1-star review we got. She did it twice, and she couldn't remember the login for the second one. So we got 1 5-star and 1 1-star, and that was the compromise. It'll average out to 3, and I guess, that's all you can ask for in that situation. So everybody makes mistakes, guys. And I try to remember this when I'm out and about in the service world, the service world right now, being helped by people that, when you go to McDonald's and you order 20 chicken nuggets. I mean, it's a chicken nugget. You don't have 20 chicken nuggets ready. Pull forward to 1. That's literally what the kid said in the window. He looked at me. He said, pull forward to 1. I'm like, sir, yes, sir. Pulling forward to 1, sir. What the heck, dude? And then some other guy came out and he was like, do you have an order under like Jackson? I'm like, no, I never gave him my name. So I'm like, do you have an order under the name? No. I don't. And it's one of those things you can get frustrated about having to sit in the number 1 spot for 20 minutes while they cook chicken nuggets, or you can just accept the fact that somebody is learning from this, and that if it was my people that were having a learning situation, I would hope that my customers would have grace with them, so I should have grace with these people. So you try to be patient, you try to be calm, because there's a lot of people getting into the workforce for the first time and learning the basics. Like, you don't say, pull forward to 1. You say, it'll just be a few minutes until your food is ready, sir. Could I have you pull forward to the slot number 1 there so we can get it right out to your car? Because it's raining and we're willing to run it out to you in the rain, sir, because we care about you. There you go. 402-558-1110. All right, going to take a quick break. When we come back, Mary, your call will be coming up first. Also, what is a VPN? Do you need one? And which one should you pick? The email from David coming up next on Compute This.
Today's fragile computers need maintenance more than ever. Your computer needs a maintenance checkup every 6 months to last beyond its 18-month expected lifespan. Every person listening to this broadcast has either experienced data loss or knows someone who has. When you think about it, you have a lot more data stored in many more places than you'd like to admit. Have you downloaded those videos from your phone, backed up the pictures on your iPad, or even tackled that sometimes daunting task of backing up your entire computer's hard drive? Most people just don't back up their stuff, and that's why Schrock Innovations has one of the most advanced data recovery centers in the Midwest. Equipped with the latest DDI data imaging devices, state-of-the-art custom recovery software, and Omaha's best data recovery technicians, Schrock Innovations has a 96.8% success rate when recovering data from damaged hard drives, flash drives, camera cards, and more. We all know we should back up our data, but if you are ever caught in a data loss nightmare, call the experts at Schrock Innovations to get your data back right where it belongs, safe and backed up on a stable hard drive. Compute This Pro Tip 578. Technology is constantly changing, so how can you tell when the time has come to recycle your old outdated computer and invest in a new one? Experts have rules of thumb and formulas, but Schrock believes the answer is simple. You should replace your old computer when it can no longer do the things you need in a secure way. For example, you should not be using operating systems like Windows XP or Vista because they're no longer maintained by Microsoft and they're not secure. And if your computer cannot run Windows 10, it's probably time to begin saving for a replacement. If your existing computer requires a repair and that cost is 50% or more of the cost of a new computer, it might be time to consider a replacement. But keep in mind, additional costs like data transfers and important software you have to upgrade like genealogy software or Quicken. And also keep in mind that modern computers are engineered to last 18 months for a normal user. And don't worry, you are considered a normal user. Schrock modular PCs and solid-state laptops are specifically designed to last 4 to 6 years for that same normal user, saving your family money and time. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back into Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company, where we fix them, we melt them. We actually just got in the number 2 candidate for surge protector from the Chinese factory outlets. Unfortunately, if you want to have anything made, that's where you have to make it. Nobody else makes anything anywhere. And so, we ordered in the first one, and we were a little disappointed. It was much smaller and lighter than expected, which was kind of weird. So we opened it up, and we found out inside it doesn't really have anything, and it looks like it was put together by a third grader with a soldering iron. It was pretty rough. And so, yeah, we're going to melt that on video at some point. But we thought we should get all the candidates together first, and then we should go to the store, and we should actually buy like a surge protector that you would buy from Ace Hardware or something. And then, not that I'm picking on Ace Hardware, but I get a lot of spam messages about winning an Ace Hardware gift card, so it's always top of mind. So the Ace, they're doing you a favor there. I'm gonna tell you what. I don't get like Ryobi gift card offers. It's just Ace Hardware. Share your opinion. Win a gift card. 402-558-1110, 888-250-2091. Marie, welcome to the program. How can I help you on Compute This?
Hi, Shrock. Got a question concerning a misbehaving app, I guess.
Okay.
The PayPal app, which I've updated, and now it just shuts down. It's an Android. Contacted PayPal. Oh, it's working. Okay. No, it's not. And also, there's no way to get to anybody in Google land with the app. So have you heard anything? And I have the updated version. They did update the PayPal app and added a quick cash pay. That's not the name of it, where you can just tap and pay and go. Have you heard anything that there's a problem with that app, or what do you think I should do? I've uninstalled and reinstalled.
Yeah, I have the PayPal app on my Android device as well, and I have not experienced any problems. One of the things that sometimes people don't realize, when you uninstall and reinstall an app, it doesn't always remove the temporary files that the app is using. And so did you, when you go into the storage options, you can click on clear the cache and clear.
Okay, so you're saying now to go into where you're saying to go in where.
So if you go into the app where you would uninstall the app, you can tap on storage instead. So
and look for the storage in the recent opened apps instead of the force stop or uninstall. They suggested to uninstall, and I did.
Right. So if you if you press down and hold on that PayPal icon, you should get some menus. Like if you do a long press, it should pop up with some
widgets
options.
and app info is what you're talking about.
And then click on app info.
Mm-hmm.
And then tap
and it
on...
goes...
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, find storage there and tap on storage.
Okay.
And there should be some buttons there to clear and empty things.
I see what you're saying. Clear storage, data use, and see if that might work.
Yep, clear those things.
Okay.
You'll have to sign in again because it's going to blow all your login data, all your history, everything. Then you'll have to sign in again. So you have to put in your email and your password, so make sure you know your password. But give that...
And that would be with the app.
Yeah, with
itself,
the app.
Not... Okay. All righty. If I have any problems, can I come into your store and
absolutely.
beg for help and pay you?
You don't have to beg at all. No,
all right.
We're happy to help.
I'll just say it's apt. It's me. All right. You have a good 4th, and thank you for your help. I appreciate it.
Thank you. You too. Have a great afternoon. 402-558-1110. All right. Dale writes the program. Hi, Thor. I haven't listened to Compute This for a while, but I have a few questions for you. I'm trying to better understand the advantage of a VPN network. If I were to subscribe to one like ExpressVPN, that would service... That's a typo there. He asked if that would encrypt all of his internet activity, like keeping others from knowing what websites I use. Thinking mostly about my online banking activity. Everybody clarifies at that point. I don't want anyone to know what websites I go to. Not that I'm going to anything inappropriate. It's just for my online banking activity. And if so, does that provide any additional protection for passwords? Would it keep Apple, Microsoft, Google, HP from potentially accessing files and passwords I store on my laptop? Would I provide extra security when storing files to iCloud? Just trying to use the most secure method of interneting and iClouding, particularly as I consider starting with a new laptop. Using iCloud is still kind of concerning. Thanks so much for your thoughts and expertise. All right, so here's the deal. If you're going to use, there's multiple questions here, which is why I wanted to address this in video form. Question number 1. Does a VPN keep others from knowing what internet sites I use? And the answer is yes, maybe. So the reason I say maybe is there are lots of different ways to detect what website you have been to. So for example, your internet service provider is required by law for a period of 90 days to keep a record of everything you do on your internet connection. Everything. So if you have a VPN like ExpressVPN, which is the one that I use, then all the data that's going from my device goes to an ExpressVPN computer, and then from there goes out to the internet. And then the internet returns back whatever I'm after back to the ExpressVPN computer, who then sends it back to me. So the only people that would ever have a complete history of what I'm doing on the internet would be the ExpressVPN people. And of course, you're paying them to not, for privacy, basically. So as far as Cox knows, or anybody else on the internet knows, I'm going to ExpressVPN a lot, and that's pretty much all I do. So, okay, great. But if I'm signed into Facebook and I go to a website that has a Facebook like button on it, like a news website, I am now tied. My Facebook account with Facebook, since I'm logged into Facebook, is tied to that button. Facebook knows I was there. Same thing with you if you're logged into your Microsoft account. Same thing if you're logged into your iCloud. Same thing if you're logged into your Google account. Whenever you log into a pervasive account, an account that stays logged in across the computer, you are committing yourself to exposing those privacy breadcrumbs. So a VPN will help. It's not impervious, though. I don't want you to think that you have an invisible shield of protection if you have a VPN. You also need to do something like using a privacy-based browser, like the Brave browser or Firefox, instead of Chrome or Edge, for example. That'll go a long way toward helping because it blocks a lot of those Facebook. It geofences Facebook, so you don't get reported as often for what sites you go to. Additionally, you can augment your search history. You can, instead of using Google or MSN to search or Yahoo or AOL, you should use something like DuckDuckGo to search on the internet. It's amazing that you'll see that the results are completely different than what you normally find. And at first, it's off-putting because you're used to what you normally see. But then you realize that what you normally see is a filtered result, based, of course, on what Google thinks you want to see. But sometimes we want to have our beliefs challenged. Sometimes we'd like to find some new information that we didn't know before. Sometimes we would not want to be reinforced with something that maybe isn't true. And seeing unique search results can go a long way toward helping with that. All right, so question 2. Would it keep Apple, Microsoft, HP from accessing files or passwords you store on the laptop? No. VPN only anonymizes your internet connection. It does not provide any advanced security for passwords or anything else on the computer. That's what antivirus is for, and you have to have that. Number 3, would it provide extra security when storing things in iCloud? Well, your connection to iCloud is already encrypted, so extra security, well, iCloud wouldn't know where your computer was at when it was uploading to iCloud in theory, but that's about the only additional protection it would offer. It's nothing super significant, but I wouldn't turn off my VPN if you had it running. So how much does a VPN cost? You can get VPNs for free. I would not recommend those. Usually the free VPNs are not in your best interest. Let's put it that way. Somebody else is collecting data for their own purposes. Because if you're not paying for the product, you are the product. Next up, the ones you get that are bundled with things. So, for example, if I buy this antivirus product, I get a free firewall or a free VPN with it. Yay! Again, you get what you pay for. They're bundling stuff together. The biggest thing with VPNs is speed, because if you're paying for a big, fast internet connection and you have a slow VPN, it's going to make your internet connection feel slow. That's why I like ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN is fast. I don't game with it because anytime you screw with your latency on gaming, especially first-person shooter kind of gaming, it's not good. So if you're gaming at home, this is why I don't install ExpressVPN on my wireless router at home. That's an option. You can put it on your router so that everything that goes through the router goes through the VPN. But then everything that goes through the router goes through the VPN. And when I'm gaming, I don't want that going through the VPN. So I don't put it on my router, but it's on my computer. It's on my phone. I use it to help shield my privacy, to help reduce the number of breadcrumbs that I leave behind on the trail behind me. I know full well it's not impervious. It's not a shield that will allow me to do and say what I want on the internet with complete anonymity. It won't allow me to go commit crimes and not get caught. It's not a perfect shield, but it keeps the honest people honest. My dad used to say that about locking your car doors. Never hurts to keep the honest people honest. 402-558-1110, 888-250-2091. Going to take a break. Then we got a full bank of phones. Paul, Dale, and Cecilia. Your calls coming up next on Compute This.
Schrock Innovations can't teleport technicians to you, but online help is only a click away with the Schrock Desk. Subscribe today and get unlimited help whenever you need it.
Remember the good old days when virus detection worked like Where's Waldo? Spot the virus in the striped shirt and you win. Today's infections are changing hourly to avoid detection and use social engineering to trick you into making mistakes. Using yesterday's security to defend against today's threats is like using leeches to stop an infection. It just doesn't work. We recommend Sophos Intercept X antivirus backed by Schrock's virus-free guarantee. Sophos uses the power of AI to detect the patterns of a virus attack and responds with Schrock's custom actions that stop it fast. With Sophos on your PC, Mac, Android, or iOS device, you get the state-of-the-art protection you need to defend against the most advanced attacks out there. In fact, if your device gets a virus while running Sophos antivirus, Schrock will remove it for free, guaranteed. It hasn't happened yet, and we intend to keep it that way. Ditch your dad's antivirus and keep your device, data, and identity safe with Sophos and Schrock Innovations.
Compute this pro tip 178. Those little life-saving surge protector strips are vital to your computer's health and should be used whenever possible, even for laptops. As computers get smaller and more powerful, they're also becoming more sensitive to dirty power, and your power is a lot dirtier than you might think. Even if you have a whole home surge protection, most power surges are generated within your own home. If you've ever vacuumed and seen the lights get dimmer and brighter, you created a surge. Surge protectors can only absorb so much energy measured in joules. When that capacity is exhausted, your surge protector becomes a glorified extension cord and needs to be replaced. You should always look for surge protectors that give audible alerts when they're no longer able to protect your equipment. Schrock recommends these because the lights on most strips are just power lights and they don't tell you when it's time to replace the unit. If in doubt, replace your surge protectors annually to keep your expensive TVs, computers, and other electronic equipment safe. This pro tip is brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, guys, I mentioned this show is going to be a little spicy today, and so here's some spice for you. I have to give you some unconfirmed news that could directly impact your security, especially if you are a Windstream customer. Now, Windstream has not publicly acknowledged that there was a hack or penetration or a breach of any kind. I can tell you anecdotally in our service centers, a lot of our customers use Windstream, especially in Lincoln. And they are having problems. Weird things are happening to them. Like they're getting locked out of their Facebook account. Like their password got changed somehow. And they're getting locked out of their Apple account. Like their password got changed somehow. And it's like all of a sudden their passwords are changing and they're not changing them and they can't get back in. How is this possibly happening? And it only seems to be happening to Windstream customers who use Windstream email to reset their passwords. It's popping up on Reddit, guys, that it's not just a local Nebraska thing. It's not a Lincoln thing. This is from 3 days ago, the latest email hack. This is from Reddit on the Windstream subreddit. Windstream won't admit anything, but they've definitely got a problem. Windstream users should change their passwords, but that's easier said than done. The email self-service portal is down. Now, I don't know if that portal was down because of a technical glitch or if it was basically like a distributed denial of service attack, as in every Windstream customer was trying to go there at the same time and the portal couldn't support all of them at once, and so it was down for everybody. You have to contact a representative at Windstream, either by phone or chat. Wait times are long, exceeding 2 hours from what we've heard from our customers in Lincoln. While you're waiting, it would be wise to open up a new email account with another provider and get away from Windstream. So if Windstream did have a breach and they did lose everybody's email addresses and passwords, number one, passwords are not supposed to be secured or stored in a way that they can be accessed like that. If this happened, they're required to disclose it, and they're not. So I can't tell you for certain that this has happened with Windstream. But what I can tell you is if you use Windstream email, if you have a @windstream.net email address, you should change your password out of an abundance of caution right now. Like, do not wait. See if you can get to the self-service portal. And if you can't, you'll probably the next easiest thing to do would be to open up a chat window on the computer on the Windstream website rather than calling and staying on perpetual hold. But definitely, if you do not want to go through a holiday weekend with a compromised email account, because that's when the bad things happen. That's when everybody starts. So if somebody goes, think about all the stuff you have stored in your email, all the things that could be reset, all the accounts people could get access to. If you have Windstream email, it is vitally important that you change your password as soon as possible out of an abundance of caution. This may be real. I tend to think there's something going on because we've had multiple reports in the service centers. One of my technicians in Lincoln called Windstream, and the guy that answered the phone when we got through because we were helping a customer reset their password. We're sitting on hold for him, basically. And we got through and we're like, hey, did you guys get hacked? And he's like, who told you that? We haven't announced anything. We're like, way to admit it without admitting it. Saying the quiet part out loud, are we? 402-558-1110. So make sure you change that password if you can. Dale, welcome to the program. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Yes. I just was on KTV First News this morning on the Rosin report. They had a deal that Google Mail having some protections they're adding to their Google Assistant. Are you aware of it?
Yeah, it's Google is always adding new features and protections and different security measures, but the problem is the person taking your data and selling it is Google. So it doesn't really matter what they put in place to protect you because they're the ones stealing your stuff. That's why I don't use Google for search anymore. I use Gmail rarely, and I certainly don't use Google Docs for any important or sensitive documents because like every cloud account out there, the government has free reign to look into those accounts anytime they want with a subpoena, and they don't have to tell you.
Well, I just got a cell phone, and from Lively.
Okay.
And I had to establish a Google Mail account.
Yeah, for Android, you have to have a Google account to set up your Android device. So there is no completely getting away from it. But this goes back to the conversation from 2 weeks ago, that I've touched on a couple times today. It's all about reducing the breadcrumbs you leave behind. There isn't going to be a perfect privacy solution in a modern world unless you want to go Ted Kaczynski and get yourself a cabin in Montana. There's not I'm not saying blow things up with, not saying be the Unabomber. I meant go someplace isolated.
I used to live in Montana.
Well, see, and you came back. So now you're trying to maintain that Montana privacy with the technological infrastructure of the modern world. It's hard to do, but you can definitely increase the level of protection you have, but it will never be perfect, unfortunately.
You should get a list of how many Dales are and call you.
Will do. A funny Dale story. My son is 5 years old, and we're getting ready to plan a Disney trip, and we're trying to introduce him to all the characters. And so, we're talking, and who are these two chipmunks? And he goes, or who are these two? And we hold up a picture of Chip and Dale, and he says, that's Chip and Monk. Because they're chipmunk. Chip and Monk.
Or the gum commercial from years ago.
Oh, yeah, double Dales. Thanks for the call, Dale. I appreciate it. Have a great afternoon. 402-558-1110, 888-250-2091. Cecilia, welcome to the show. How can I help you on Compute This today?
Yes, I just want to give a shout-out and a big, big thank you to Liam at your Omaha store.
Oh, awesome.
Because I bought my new Endeavor computer after having to give up my 9-year-old Schrock machine. Sad.
Oh.
But you gave me back the case with the handle. Thank you.
People love those cases. Like it's almost weird. Like the other day we were looking at holiday special cases. I'm sorry, I'll let you get back to your comment here in a second. But we were looking at holiday special cases, trying to find a different case to use. And there was one, it was like $170. So it was way too expensive to use for the holiday special, but it had a handle on top. And I'm like, that right there could increase sales by like 27%. I mean, at least.
Well, I told Liam, I said, picture a 79-year-old woman bringing in her new desktop, clutching it on my chest, staggering in. And he said, we'll come out to the car and get it for you.
We'll come out to the house and get it for you.
No, not 60 miles away. You won't.
No, I guess not.
But anyway, he got my Windows 11, which is different, to see my printer. And back and forth, I couldn't scan from the printer back. Well, anyhow, long story short, he was awesome, so patient, and I told him I've got to call, and so you give you 5 stars. So there you go.
Thank you so much, Cecilia. I really appreciate you taking the time and sitting on hold to tell me that, because whenever something goes wrong, when there's a 1 star to be had, we know about it. But it's sometimes we don't always get to hear about the 5-star stuff. And Liam is one of our youngest technicians in the Omaha Service Center. He's one of those guys. Like I kind of joke, we're the new McDonald's, because people come to us. I think this might be his first job. It's like this, people come to us and we have to teach them. You have to show up on time. You have to put deodorant on. You have to, you have to take a shower. Not that Liam was any of these things, but it's like we have to teach people these things because they don't learn these things at other smaller jobs before they come to us. And so to see Liam growing and developing as a professional technician to the point where he's getting, wonderful people like you calling in and leaving him 5-star comments, that means a lot to me, Cecilia. Thank you so much.
You are welcome, and we always appreciate you and your business. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great afternoon. All righty. Jerry, welcome to the show. How can I help you on Compute This?
Oh, yes. We were wanting to know, we have a HP OfficeJet Pro printer, and I was wondering, ours went bad. I was just wondering what kind of printers you would recommend.
Gotcha. Funny thing about printers, inkjet printers. There's two types of printers you can get. There's inkjet and there's laserjet. Most people for residential home use find that an inkjet printer is the most cost-effective option.
Yes, we have an inkjet.
Every single inkjet printer uses the same technology that was originally invented by Canon and is basically contracted out. So if you buy an HP, you're buying a Canon. If you buy a Brother, you're buying a Canon. So we sell Canon. Because we figure cut out the middleman, right?
Well, yeah.
So yeah, we have Canon multifunction printers. About the only thing you're going to notice that's different from the printers that we carry at Schrock is that it doesn't have a fax function. Your OfficeJet had a fax function, but nobody really has phone lines anymore, so they kind of got rid of the fax options.
Well, I was just wondering because that ink is so expensive with the HP and.
Oh, they're all expensive. That's how they make their money. They sell you the printer actually at a loss. Like the printer only costs you $150, but when you go to buy the ink, it's like $30 a cartridge.
Yeah.
One of the things, and this gives me an opportunity to bring this up, and I appreciate you letting me do this. One of the things that's changing now is a lot of printers, like at home, at my house, we bought one of the HP EcoTank printers because my wife homeschools, and so she prints a lot of stuff. And so the EcoTank said, you're going to pay a lot for the ink, but at least you don't have to pay for it so frequently, so you don't feel, you have time to forget the pain before you have to do it again. And so the problem, though, is recycling the printers. We've had to start charging for printer recycles now because the ink, we have to remove the ink cartridges before we can recycle the printers. But if it's an EcoTank printer, the ink is inside the printer. You can't remove the tank. And so unfortunately now, because of the mess, all the recycling companies are charging us to recycle printers. So we had to start charging to recycle printers. So sad news there. But, it's everything else we take for free. Monitors and printers are the only things we charge for. But yeah, I'd recommend the Canon printer. I think it's going to do great for you, especially if you're low volume printing. You don't want to get one of the EcoTanks unless you're printing a lot of volume.
Well, the wife prints a lot of volume.
All right, you might take a look at an HP EcoTank. I'd recommend that over the Epson EcoTank, honestly. I've had both, and I like the HP one a lot better.
Do you have a lot of mess with refilling them?
No, none at all. In fact, the bottle, when you get them, there's no ink in the printer. The bottle goes click into the top, and then it drains itself. It's like vacuum sealed. It's like it just shoots the ink into the printer. So I suppose if you stomped on the bottle, you might have a problem. But when
I have problems, I want to take a ball-peen hammer to it.
Yeah, it's not like the old days when you were trying to refill the cartridges and you had to drill the hole and slop the ink everywhere, lay a bunch of newspapers down. It's not like that. This is a system that's designed to go from bottle to printer and to drain every drop of ink out of that bottle. It's a weird thing when you fill it the first time. It is weird. But anyway, if you print a lot of volume, go with one of the EcoTanks. You're going to save some money.
That makes me feel very... very comfortable in purchasing something like that.
You wouldn't recommend an Epson then?
Well, you're buying a Canon. So, it's all the same. The only thing that's different is the software. And the things with the Epson that I hated is their printers were fine. It was the software that looked like it was for Windows 95. It was awful. And the HP software just is so smooth. It connects. It gives you phone printing options, all kinds of stuff from your wireless network.
See, we're not, we don't do any of that. For
Gotcha.
faxing or anything like that.
And when I say volume, if you're printing one ream of paper a week or more, you should probably go with an EcoTank.
Okay.
If you're printing one ream of paper or so a month, then you should probably go with a regular inkjet like a Canon or something, because the EcoTanks are more expensive.
Good.
Well, I appreciate it.
Hey, no sweat, guys. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. There you go. See, folks, families who listen to Compute This together stay together. There you go. 402-558-1110. Let's do some true false here real quick. Let me get this up. I thought some of these was pretty good, or were pretty. Some of these was pretty good. All right, we got like 5 questions here for your Red Book quiz. Question number 1. TikTok may provide your username, phone number, password, or metadata associated when and where and by whom your content was created to third-party payment processors and transaction fulfillment providers, i.e. everybody. So can TikTok provide your name, phone number, password, and a bunch of other stuff to pretty much anybody they want? The answer is true. TikTok can provide your personal information to payment processors. So there you go. Round 2. When you enter a physical store like Walmart, can Walmart collect your biometric information like your face geometry, fingerprints, or even a retina scan? True. When you visit some stores, Walmart will collect biometric information about you. These security cameras around the premises? Retailers will use those cameras in store or digital try-on software to collect your face and retinal scans. So they're scanning your face while you're shopping in Walmart. There's a record of the people of Walmart, an official record. Number 3, Amazon may collect and store recordings when you speak to Alexa. This one's easy. Of course that's true. Well, everybody knows that. And everybody knows Alexa talks for weird reasons sometimes when you're not talking to her. I don't understand that. This one's a little more complicated. Number 4, if you turn off your location tracking, apps can't know your smartphone's location. True or false? The answer is false. In fact, apps can determine your cell phone's location by the Wi-Fi networks you move past. Even if you don't join those networks, they've been mapped already, geographically mapped by those Google cars that drive around. So they know if you're within this much signal strength of 3 networks, they can triangulate where you're at. They can also use regular old cell phone tower triangulation to get an approximate location for you. Number 5, Apple does not sell your data. True or false? Sort of true and false. Apple doesn't sell your data to anybody. They never sell it, but they do provide it anonymized for advertising purposes. And if you get enough, as we discussed last week, enough anonymized data put together into one place, you can de-anonymize the data, and that is the case with Apple as well. Round 6, when you request to delete your data from an app or website, it is deleted immediately. True or false? False. Some companies like Google say the deletion process begins as soon as you put in your request, but can take up to 6 months. The computers are so slow at Google. They can search in 0.000019 seconds, but they can't delete your data for 6 months. It takes up to 6 months to delete your data from all systems. Facebook says it can take 90 days. So there you go, guys. True, false. How'd you do? Did you get any of them right? Going to take our final break of the program. When we come back, we got Paul, Rick, and the newest tactic to steal your ATM PIN number. This is going to blow your mind because all it takes is a cell phone for someone to do this to you. We're going to tell you what it is coming up next on Compute This.
If you can dream it, Schrock Interactive's website developers can make it happen. Refresh your website, automate sales and marketing, and grow your business today with Schrock Interactive. External hard drives are handy. You can back up multiple computers to them or even use them to move lots of data from one computer to another. Computer users have been buying the same old external hard drives for years. While our computers have been getting faster, we still do backups that take hours or watch epic progress bars creep by to move files. Schrock wanted more for our customers, so our innovators created the fastest external hard drives on the planet. Schrock modular storage devices are up to 50% faster than Seagate or Western Digital externals and are modular in the truest sense of the word. We can create whatever size and speed of drive you need for all of your needs, and all modular storage devices come with a data restoration guarantee. If you use our drives for backing up and your computer's hard drive fails, we'll restore your backup to your repaired computer for free. Fast, simple, and flexible technology solutions from Schrock Innovations. It's what we do. Compute This pro tip number 753. Have you ever wondered how the bad guys always seem to find a way into your computer? Gone are the good old days of email worms and I love you viruses. Nobody wants to steal your data anymore, or in many cases, even your identity. Today's cyber criminals want to sell access to your computer or hold your data for ransom. The bad guys are exploiting zero-day vulnerabilities to break into systems that are supposed to be hack-proof. These vulnerabilities are always newly discovered, and the criminals have a brief time to exploit them before they get patched. Antivirus and firewalls do not prevent these attacks, but you can minimize your computer's exposure by installing all security patches as quickly as possible. The average computer needs 12 patches a week. That's not including the ones that are automatically delivered to your computer. Boost your cybersecurity by staying on top of it manually, or use a patch installation program like Secure Updater to get your computer the patches it needs. This pro tip is brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, guys, we're always thinking here on Compute This. I'll tell you what, good stuff. So the newest tactic, the thieves, I was talking with Roger during the break about this, and he had a great point. All right, so let me give you the background. The newest way that thieves are stealing your PIN number. Do you know that some new cell phones come with FLIR cameras? Those are thermal cameras. They can detect heat, which is kind of cool because, I mean, imagine like you're trying to find the hot water pipe in the wall, and you could just take your camera over the wall and see where the heat is. Like, there's the hot water pipe. Or is this wire live or not? Oh, look, it's warm. Yeah, there's some heat in that wire. It's live. So, yeah, thermal cameras are cool. Well, some cell phones now are coming with thermal cameras built into them. And what thieves are doing is after you use the ATM and you walk away, they come up behind you and they take a picture of the keypad, the ATM keypad. And where your fingers touch the buttons, they're still warm. And so it shows up as heat. So they can get the 4 digits of your PIN. Now, they don't know the sequence. And then Roger, in the well of wisdom of this man, literally looks at me and says, well, what good is it to steal someone's PIN number if you don't have their card? And I thought, that's why I'm not a criminal, Roger. I would have gotten so caught up into the FLIR camera stealing the PIN numbers, I'd have been like, where's the card? So I don't know. I don't know why you'd want somebody's PIN number if you didn't have their card. Like, what could you do with a PIN number by itself? And you don't have the actual PIN number. You see, you have the 4 digits of the PIN number. So you'd have to figure, there's what? It's 4 times 4. So 16 potential combinations you'd have to test. So you'd have to have a card to try it 16 times. I mean, and then if you do so many incorrect ones, doesn't it eat the card? I don't know. Interesting stuff. Well, anyway, thieves are using FLIR cameras now to see what you're typing. So this could be applied to any kind of a touchpad, any kind of a combination pad, whether that's an apartment complex lock, anything like that. Something to be aware of. Be aware of your surroundings when you're engaged in unlocking things. Be sure there's nobody creeping around behind you. 402-558-1110. Paul, welcome to the program. How can I help you on Compute This today?
Good morning. Appreciate your show.
Thank you.
I got a question about updating from Windows 10 to Windows 11.
Yes.
In the past, it always seems like I've had problems. For instance, when I updated from Windows 8 to Windows 10, I had some programs that would not run on the newest version of Windows. Then I'd have to buy the newest programs and spend more money. So I'm just wondering if you've heard anything about Windows 11. Is it pretty compatible with all the old apps and software programs that are out there, or are there some questionable programs that might not run on the new Windows?
Gotcha. And it's really tough to answer that conclusively because there's lots of programs out there. But in our experience on the bench, we haven't had anybody have problems with software that would run on Windows 10 but not on Windows 11. Now, one of the things that does happen over time is there are different versions. So if you have Windows 11, the Windows 11 that you get today is different than the Windows 11 you would have got a year ago. It's a different version. And there's going to be another version this fall. So as those versions change, you can get paced out of software. You may be forced to upgrade things like Adobe products, things like that. So you're never going to be able to escape it entirely because you have to stay current on security updates. To do that, you have to stay current on your version. But I don't think you're going to have any trouble. And you have a 30-day period you can roll back the installation also. So if you get to Windows 11 and you're like, I should have stayed on 10, you can roll it back up to 30 days after you do it. But you're only good on Windows 10 until 2025. Then you're out of luck.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that sounds pretty promising. I thank you for that information.
All right. Thank you, Paul. Rick, I don't have time to get to your call here on the air, but I do have you in the drawing for the $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. Today's winner is Cecilia. Congratulations. $25 headed your way. Stay tuned for the Aftershock coming up next, where we'll tell you about what's going on in France that you're not hearing in the news. It's a big one. See you next week.
From the Amish firm